Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be installing some goodies onto the S13. Got some new front suspension components from Gktech. Got the version 4 tension rods right over here. Also got the version 2 RCC kit and some Tein tie rods, inner and outer, with the little spacers on there. So hoping to get some good angle with this kit right here and some clearance with those tension rods. Since I'm putting on these tie rods, I got new boots, some grease, and we're playing with some ball joints, so I got some new cotter pins for the crown nuts. Here is my 1991 Nissan 240SX. I bought this as a bare shell many years ago and have been slowly building it, so I'm really excited to get this finished up. Alright guys, so we got the wheel off. The car is supported by some jack stands. I have a piece of wood in between the jack stand and the frame rail, as you can see there. Just my style of jacking up the car. Next up, we're gonna remove the OEM tension rods. It's gonna be this bolt right here. There is 2 bolts underneath this lower control arm that we're gonna remove right over there. We're gonna remove this tie rod end that has definitely seen some better days. This boot is all screwed up. The inner boot is even more screwed up. So we're gonna remove the inner and the outer. If you rotate your hub assembly back and forth and you get a little bit of play, you get a little bit of wiggle, you definitely have some bad tie rods. In this case, I do. And since we're putting on the RCC version 2 kit on this car, I'm also gonna remove the lower ball joint that is right there. So that guy is gonna come out as well. All right, let's get started. All right, making some progress with the disassembly. We got the tension rod out, which was the rod that was right over there. We separated the knuckle from the ball joint that would have been oriented something like this. The tie rod, the outer tie rod connects there, and the inner tie rod connects right there. We got both of those out. So I also loosen up the coilover bolts right over here. I am going to next loosen up these bolts that hold the caliper to the knuckle, and I'm gonna secure this caliper, probably zip tie it up to one of these coils and just kind of let that hang there while I take the knuckle completely off the car, and I'm gonna install the RCC version 2 kit onto the knuckle. While it's not on the car, it's a little bit easier. It looks like it's gonna be easier, plus it's only a couple of bolts, so let's get started with that. So the knuckle is removed and the caliper is secured to the coilover using these zip ties. I thought this was going to be a better location than using one of these coils on the spring. Got some unfortunate news here. One of these wheel bearings is bad. This guy right here. There's a little bit of play when I move that hub back and forth. So the play was definitely from the tie rod, but also this is a bad wheel bearing right here. So this guy's no good. Sucks. Luckily, I got these guys right here. So this is another set of S14 knuckles that I have laying around. So we're going to be switching over to these. There is these dust covers on here, which I don't really like, so maybe pulling those off. But anyways, we're gonna be installing the RCC version 2 kit onto these guys and not those guys. Those guys suck. This guy sucks. This guy really sucks. That guy sucks because that's his friend, so they suck. These are our new friends. Hi guys, welcome. Welcome to the team. All right, we got the knuckles ready to go, cleaned up. The roll center correction kit with the included hardware. We're gonna need remember that rare 22 mil? Well, we're gonna be using it again here. So we got that 22, we got a 17 socket, we got a number 8, what is this, an Allen socket, I guess? Whatever the hell it's called. And we also got the number 10 Allen socket, along with a good torque wrench. Make sure everything is torqued properly. To start, we'll be installing these shanks into the roll center correction kit, and then we'll be putting this onto the knuckles. So we're gonna start with these guys first. The shanks have been installed onto the roll center correction kit. This is the ball joint shank, and this is the tie rod shank. So this just literally bolts up right into that guy like that. And this side right here bolts into this one like so. Since I'm retaining the dust shields on my knuckles, I'm gonna have to use an Allen key instead of that 10 socket. The 10 socket will fit in, but it won't allow me enough room to put the socket wrench on. It's this guy here, so I'll be using a standard Allen key, number 10 Allen key, to get that part taken care of. So we got the roll center correction kit installed on the knuckle. So you can see how now we have a spaced out pickup for that lower ball joint, and we also have some more options and a nice different angle that's going to help that suspension geometry for the tie rods. So the top one is the drift setup, the glory hole that we're going to be using, and the bottom one is the grip setup. Alright, before we start the install, I noticed that we have this little bump stop that's connected to the lower control arm, and that is essentially going to get in the way of the tie rod whenever I'm at full lock. It's going to end up hitting this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this using a cutoff wheel. Anytime you guys use a cutoff wheel, make sure you wear a mask and also wear some safety glasses to protect your eyeballs. Those are some important balls there. All right, so we got our cut made. We have a slice just right through there. So I'm gonna try to bend this piece back and have it hopefully break right by that weld, because that weld is pretty strong, right? It's supposed to be stronger than this guy. So it should snap right here. And then I'm gonna bend this piece back right here, this way, and hopefully I get a nice clean break right there too. That wasn't too bad. Bump stop came off pretty easily. Nice. Let's check it out. All right, so that's what it looks like. Bump stop has been removed right at the welds. That worked out pretty good. I'm gonna grab a Dremel and clean up these edges. That way I don't cut myself. The bump stop has been removed and it has been grinded down a little bit, so it's nice and smooth. Nothing is poking out, so it's gonna cut me later on. Kind of clean it up. I'm gonna put a little bit of primer just over these spots. That way they don't get rusted. I do live pretty close to the beach here, so I don't want these guys to rust out. So I got the back of the lower control arm all masked off. This is the two little points where that bump stir connected to that lower control arm that we cut off. So I'm gonna prime and put a little bit of paint on there. That way this doesn't rust out. All right guys, we're almost ready to start our assembly process. We got the back of the lower control arms painted up. No more exposed metal there. Pretty good. So next thing is going to start putting everything back together. Okay, so I'm ready to put these version 4 tension rods on. I laid it out on a tape measure. It's supposed to be like 13.97 from here to the back hole. Mine is pretty much right at 14 or so, so I put right in the center of there, we're right at 10, and right in the center of here, we're about 24. So that's 14 inches, which is close enough to 13.97 for me. All right, so as you can see, this guy's pretty much central. It's good enough. As I mentioned earlier, this guy's going to go to the alignment shop on a trailer right after this, so good enough for me. But you want this guy to be pretty much vertical and straight, even with the heim, not tilted to the left or to the right. And that's it. Tension rod is on. Let's tackle the tie rods next. This is a little side-by-side comparison. This is our old OEM one. This is the new Tein inner and outer tie rod. So what I did is I kind of wiped down this area right here with a paper towel, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of grease in there, a little bit of fresh grease in there. Also got some thread locker. I don't want to use red because I don't want this thing to be permanent, right? So, but I am using some thread locker when I install the inner portions. And we got some new boots. Look at this guy compared to that guy. I mean, I guess there's not really no comparison. But anyways, we need to separate the inner and outer. That way we can slide this on. All right, this is what it looks like when the inner and outer tie rod is disassembled. I literally just unscrewed these off of here and got to this point. I put some of this grease in. I didn't realize it was gonna be red. I don't know why, but anyways, it's red. Just a little bit on the inner tie rod right here. I mean, this step isn't really necessary, I guess, but you know, why not? So I just added a little bit. Going to slide this dust cover on and reassemble the inner and outer tie rod and get ready to throw this guy onto the car. All right, guys, I lied. We're not putting the tie rod on the car because there's nowhere to put the tie rod. So I need to put the knuckle on first. We're gonna connect the knuckle to the coilover. We're gonna probably have to bend that heat shield on the knuckle a little bit in order to get this caliper to sit on there good. Oh yeah, can't forget to put the rotor on. We need to put the rotor on before we put the caliper. Don't wanna make that rookie mistake there. And then also got cotter pin, some needle nose for our ball joint down here. All right, let's get started with that, and then we can install our tie rod. Then we'll have somewhere to install our tie rod too, right? Because then we'll have the little hole right here. That guy connects there, and then the other guy connects right there. Okay, let's get started. All right. So before we mount these knuckles onto here, make sure that your RCC, your roll center correction kit, is mounted properly. Make sure that it's sitting flush against your knuckle. It's not spaced out or anything like that, and it's sitting properly. That way you can use it to its full potential, and also there's a safety factor there as well. So make sure you have this stuff mounted properly. It's pretty cool. You can kind of see this is where the ball joint used to be, and this is where it's going to be now. So it's spaced back, and plus it's at a different angle. So it's definitely going to help the suspension geometry. And this guy just slides right on, like so. I don't know if you're able to see it, but oh yeah, there you go. So this guy's on there now. So that's pretty much, you know, you get an idea of how it's spaced out. That's pretty cool. You can notice that the angles are different, so that's pretty cool too. This is a big difference right here with the tie rods. That angle compared to this angle. So I don't know. I'm really digging this guy. This guy is pretty cool. So I'm gonna install the nut onto there. Hold that in place. I'm not going to torque this down just yet. I'm gonna install some of this other stuff. That way it can help me hold this when I do the torque down. So I'll probably do the torque at the very end and just get everything taken care of. All right, anyways, got this guy on there. I am gonna just maybe tighten it just a tad. Obviously not enough to be torqued down, but that should be good. For now, we're gonna come back and torque that. All right, so we're going to figure out how this dust shield is gonna fit with this caliper. But before that, let's go ahead and attach the coil over to our knuckle here. Oops. Whoa. Okay, well, I guess that's okay. All right. Gonna learn today. We're gonna learn. We learning. We is learning. All right, okay, so that's in my way. All right, where can you go? Where can you go? Can you go there? Can you stay there? Can you stay there for a second? All right, cool. Don't fucking move. All right, let's go. We gotta hurry. All right. Just in case, if you guys are wondering why I got these little sleeves right here, it's because my car is an S13 and I'm running S14 5-lug conversion. And in order to run that properly, right, you need these little sleeves. So these sleeves literally just slide right into my knuckles. Okay, all right, so let's try to get this on there without making that guy fall. Let's see if that works. Ooh. All right, okay, shit. All right, let's try this again. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Oh shit. Oh shit. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. All right, there we go. Good to go. All right, let's get ready to put the caliper on. Before we put the caliper on, we need to put the rotor on. Right? That wouldn't be good. So, oh God, look at how awesome this fits. You see that? You see that guy right there? See that, Johnny? All right, we need to fix this. Oh, shit. That's definitely not planned for. Okay. All right, next up is to get this caliper onto this hub right over here. This is where it's gonna go, onto these bolts. Pretty sure we're gonna have some sort of issue with these dust shields, so we actually may need to pull these back even further. But anyways, let's get started with that. I'm gonna try to put the bottom on first. Actually, let me just go ahead and bend this out, because I'm fairly confident that this is not gonna fit properly. And then I'm also gonna do the top, because something tells me this isn't gonna fit properly. All right, it should fit like that. Hopefully, I don't know, we'll find out. We're gonna find out together, brother. These guys need to take off these zip ties. Take this one off too. Caliper. Dude, look how fresh these brake pads are. Literally not lying when I said these are brand new rotors and these are brand new pads. They just look kind of crappy with the surface rust. But this shit is literally brand new, so we're definitely gonna put it to use though. So, that pad slid out a little bit, so slide that back in. Get your pad aligned on your rotor. Oh, oh shit. Alright, there we go. Okay, we got some major rubbish, but I think I can at least get the bolts in for now until we can address the rubbish. Use some brake clean just to clear out that inner tie rod from any grease, and I'm gonna stick some paper towel in there. All right, so I'm using some thread locker on the, oops. I'm using some thread locker on the end right here, just a little bit. I'm using the orange one because it's not super hard like the red one. The orange one is pretty much just gonna prevent it from backing out due to like any vibrations or stuff like that. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit on here and then go ahead and install this, the inner right here and the outer on the RCC, roll center correction kit. So let's get that going. All right, guys, so our assembly is complete. Everything is put back together. Really excited. This is the tension rods right over here. Everything is all torqued to spec. This is the RCC kit right here. Here are the Tein tie rods. I finished installing this boot cover and put the zip ties on both ends, so good to go there. Torqued down my coilovers, torqued down the calipers. Everything is torqued, good to go. All right, we got the wheel back on, so let's see how much angle this kit provided for us. If you guys made it this far, definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate the support. Please do like and subscribe. I'll have a bunch more videos coming out soon of other DIY projects that I'll be doing on my car. But let's see how much angle this guy gets. So if I turn it to the driver's side, if I make like a left turn, dude, look at that angle. Sick. Awesome. Really happy. You may have to get some clearance in here, so I use this guy just to beat some of this back this way. But man, huge improvement. This is what it looks like from the top down. Look at that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, and then if we turn it to our right, this is what we got right there. Awesome. Huge improvement over stock. Really happy with everything that was installed here. And you'll see that the limiting factor is actually my sway bars. So my tire right here, see that? It's actually hitting the sway bar. So if I had some better clearance sway bars, it would go all the way to the tension rods. But overall, I'm super happy because this is way more angle than I had before. So hope you guys enjoyed this install. This is my first install video, but as I mentioned earlier, got a lot more to come. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you guys next time.